Welcome back. If you are a regular here on the Adrienne Ross Show, the basketball edition, and welcome for the first time if this is your first time here. Listen, we are over 22,000 subscribers, so thank you for that. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you have not done so already. Much appreciated. Let's jump into today's topic. Last night, Marina Mabrey, who was formerly a part of the Chicago Sky basketball team and is now a part of the Connecticut Sun team, faced off with her old team. And in that game, Chennedy Carter, you know Chennedy Carter, Chennedy Carter took a shot at Mabrey that certainly looked to be intentional, and it's being talked about. It was a hard shot that had Mabrey down on the floor for quite some time. First, let's take a look at that shot, and then I'm going to go right into the post-game conference in which Mabrey had been asked about it, and she gave a short response. But again, first, without sound, let's just take a look at the shot Mabrey received from Chennedy Carter. And now the post-game comments.
Levels to this shit, so I'm not gonna fight with that. Eat it? I'm sorry.
So there you saw the shot. Chennedy Carter came down on Mabrey's face, on her nose, and I didn't show the whole thing with her just lying there, but she was, she, meaning Mabrey, was down on the floor for quite some time. It was a really nasty, ugly shot. Now, I don't know the full story about why Mabrey requested a trade. Some people have speculated that it had to do with her being fed up with everybody trying to prop up Angel Reese and getting really fed up with that whole streak that, people seem complicit in making sure she continues. I don't know. I don't know what it was, but she obviously wasn't happy there and she left. And this is the first time they got to face each other after that. And it appeared to be intentional. And whenever there's a shot such as that across the face there, then the officials are going to review it. They gave her a flagrant for it. I haven't had a phone call from Chennedy Carter telling me, yeah, I meant to do that. But, the girl knows how to play basketball. That swipe, it definitely looked like something. But even if that didn't clue us in for sure, just the way that she walked away, she looks down, and then Chennedy Carter just turns and walks away. Again, this is a former teammate. When you hurt someone in a situation like that, generally you're going to make sure they're okay if everything is okay. Especially, I mean, this was your teammate. It wasn't like some random person, right? But the way that happened, the force with which that shot came down, again, even if that were some kind of mistake and you were really going for the ball, the way that she kind of walked away, I don't know what kind of message she was trying to send, but I know one thing, Mabrey sent her own kind of message because she didn't let that stop her and she went off for 24 points in the game. So kudos to Mabrey. Now, when it comes to the post-game comments, she had been asked about it and she just basically said there are levels to this, SHIT. I don't like using bad language, but there are levels to this SHIT. Now, we heard something like that before, almost identical, when Diana Taurasi had been asked about Caitlin Clark coming into the league and if she would struggle in the league, etc. And she, sneers basically and says, there are levels to this thing. So I don't know if that's some kind of code word or whatever. And then we saw the end of that interview there, which, just looked unprofessional, which is something I'll get into at another time. But back to Chennedy Carter. I released a video after Chennedy Carter body checked Caitlin Clark. And I said that people need to not take this lightly because it wasn't the first time something like this happened, and because Chennedy Carter has issues that are larger than Caitlin Clark. And in this case, I believe we got to see more of those issues on display. Something is up here with Chennedy Carter, and I'm going to flash back because what I said did age well. In that I issued a warning and I gave some rather poignant comments, gave some strong comments about Chennedy Carter. So I'm going to show you some snippets from that. And I think they speak for themselves. So let's check this out. What I want to point out is that if you really care about Chennedy, and this is, you know, Coach Teresa Weatherspoon, anybody else egging this young woman on, Angel Reese getting up and applauding after she body checked Caitlin, these people don't care about Chennedy. Chennedy has an issue because, number one, you did what you did. But then you just add on, and then you say you would prefer the hate than the love. Something is off. Look at the track record. You have a track record of causing people to cut ties with you, and you still can't seem to stop the same behavior. This is about more than basketball, and egging this young woman on and giving her chance after chance after chance is not good for her. It's detrimental not only to other people, but also to herself. And somebody might say, oh, you're overdoing it. I'm not overdoing anything. This is a young woman who was cut from a team because she is threatening her own teammates, not the opponent we're talking about. I'm sure she probably was, I shouldn't say I'm sure. I imagine if she's threatening her teammates, she might be threatening the opposition as well. But you got cut from professional basketball for that. Then you get picked up by the LA Sparks, get another opportunity, and your conduct is poor. So who in the world knows what you're doing there? Then you've got this attitude when you get another chance, knocking people over, then get to the post-game interview and act the way you did. Something is not right with this young woman. Teresa Weatherspoon puts out a statement, because obviously people are not having this. Fans are talking about walking away, and it looks bad on the league. It looks horrible. It's petty, it's catty, and it's dangerous. So Teresa Weatherspoon, she puts out a statement. But my main concern again is that she says, I have no regrets. You have been kicked off these teams before. You have a history of this. You're still doing it. And Teresa Weatherspoon, I'm disappointed. I was never a New York Liberty fan because I was a Houston Comets fan. That was an intense rivalry when Teaspoon played. But I have respect for the intensity with which Teresa Weatherspoon played. And it shocks me, honestly, that this girl feels that she can have this conversation with you. Everything is, we understand each other. But then you get up there in front of the media and say you have no regrets. I'm telling you, somebody better pay attention, because she's letting you know. She said, at the end of the day, it's basketball. This is basketball. This is competition. Her mindset is that this is acceptable because this is how I play. It doesn't matter who's in front of me, she says. It does matter, because the way she said it more than once, she said, I think twice, and that's her point. Because it matters. Like, I don't care if you are Caitlin Clark, is what she's saying. I'm going to be competitive. That's not competition. That's not basketball, but it does fit in with your history. So I'm saying, if you really care about her, people, and that includes the league, and that includes her coach, stop giving her chance after chance after chance, because it only encourages the behavior that she has not been able to master. My guess is that she hasn't been able to master it because she doesn't see anything wrong with it. She just told us. So again, I'm just going to reiterate, which I just reiterated with that flashback. Somebody's got to do something. Somebody has to do something. And I would think that Teaspoon wouldn't be a person who you could get away with stuff like that with. And what do we know? I mean, Chennedy Carter could be a total basket case, so to speak, and even Teaspoon don't know what to do with her. I don't know. I'm not in the locker room. I'm not in the practices. I don't know. But it surprises me that this kind of thing goes on and something has to be done about it because it's not cool. You know, it's so sad. Like, I really want to like Chennedy Carter. You know, in spite of the thing with Caitlin Clark, the girl can play some basketball. And I kind of find myself wanting her to do well. I noticed that she was ticked off when ESPN put out its list of 25 players, and she was below Angel Reese, and she was running her mouth on social media about that. Not the way to handle it, but I could understand why she thought, even though she didn't say it was about Angel Reese, she didn't say it was about Caitlin Clark, whatever it was, she wasn't happy with where she was. And she certainly shouldn't have been worse than Angel Reese on that list. Okay, so I get that. And she can play, but she's got too much other mess going on in her head. And it's sad because I want to cheer for her, but I can't cheer for someone who does this. And I'm going to have a hard time cheering continually for a league that allows this. Something's got to be done, and that'll be brought out in another video that I would do. I don't know what the levels to this thing is, that or SHIT that may have kept maybe from saying she, from fighting it or whatever. What do you think that means? What do you think about what you saw there? Yeah, it's deep. But anyway, tonight we get to see Fever basketball as the Indiana Fever will take on the Minnesota Lynx. It is Maya Moore's jersey retirement. I did a video yesterday about that and talked about the dynamics at play in that game. If you missed yesterday's video, go back and check that out. Before the game tonight, I'm thinking about going live in this game. Now, Minnesota beat the Aces yesterday. It's a back-to-back, and they're going to be on a high, obviously, from the retirement ceremony, from the win, and, for playing Caitlin Clark, and there's a whole thing there with Cheryl Reeve. So I'm thinking about going live. So make sure that you are tuned into the Adrienne Ross Show. Make sure you subscribe once again as we're growing. And I appreciate you. God bless you abundantly. And I will catch you next time, God willing.